Hey friends, don't take advantage of people. That's going to be the idea for our encouragement, devotional. I don't think a rant today, but we've been looking at John chapter 2, verses 13 to 25. That's the full story. You should go read that. We're going to read verses 13 and 14 in a second, but just with the ideas that followers of Jesus, we don't take advantage of people. So here we go. Verse 13. When it was almost time for the Jewish Passover, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple courts, he found people selling cattle, sheep, and doves, and others sitting at the table exchanging money. So he made a whip out of cords and drove all from the temple courts, both sheep and cattle. He scattered the coins of the money changers, and he overturned the tables. I went ahead and read verse 15 as well. When Jesus showed up at the Passover, he like we said in the last video, he knew he was going to have to deal with some pretty gross behaviors. He wasn't a happy camper when he got there. These exchangers, what they were actually doing was price gouging. Now, you could bring for the sacrifices the Jewish nation were about to make, they could bring their own animals. But if they showed up and the animal had any kind of blemish on it at all, like it got I don't know, beat up in some way, had a limp, it was missing, patches of hair. I don't know what all the parameters were, but if it had any kind of blemish to it, they weren't allowed to use it for a sacrifice. But the people that were running the temple, they had one that they would sell you. Somebody got the bright idea to go, we can make some serious money here. So they'd really up the charge, right? Supply and demand. The other thing that they would do was if they showed up with money that wasn't temple money, they would exchange it for it because that's what you had to use to buy the animals from the temple in Jerusalem. But there's a pretty hefty exchange fee going on. Jesus is going, look, my people, we're not supposed to take advantage of each other. The people, they were coming to the temple because it was something that God asked them to do. This was supposed to be a good thing, a celebration. And people were getting highly taken advantage of. So they were taking advantage of each other. They were doing the evil one's work, right? They were doing the enemy's work. And so Jesus, he wanted his followers to be a people that were generous, right? And that generosity is supposed to move in every direction. If you've got the ability to help someone, you should help them. If you've got the ability to pay for services that you need help, you should pay for it, right? You shouldn't take a handout if you can pay for it. If someone refuses payment because they're trying to be generous, pay that generosity forward to somebody else. See, in that generosity, it can be in the form of money. It can be in the form of time, some giftedness that God's given you. God's people we're supposed to be generous and not take advantage, right? There's nothing wrong with making money, but we're not supposed to exploit the people that need our help. And so it just, in my mind, the obvious example is like diabetes medicine, right? It's gross what the big pharma does with that. That's not capitalism. That's greed. It's gross. And so Jesus' followers, we don't do people like that. So we don't further cripple people that need help the most. See, Jesus, he gladly accepted the help and gifts and the hospitality others offered, and he was very quick to offer. He was both fair and generous and gracious. I guess you can't say both. He was all of the above, and we can be too. Don't take advantage of people. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.